one of the top, or only the top one of the top two. Because there are you always like Harvard and Yale, compete. So Tsinghua and Peking compete. They know they are the top two, but they don't care who's the top three, the number three. And also Tsinghua beat Peking for producing leaders, top leaders. So the former president of China, the current president of China, all graduated from Tsinghua. So I think this is why we also value a lot for this program. We want to understand India better. And this is also helpful for reshaping the future of the Indian-China relationship. Okay? So now I think it's better for us to give them a chance to have a very self-introduction, even though we have your name on the list, but it's good for all of you. They are from different schools, okay, right? So maybe we can start from you.
就说一下自己的学院，你研究什么的？
Yeah, just 1 minute introduction, or just your school, your field, and your expertise.
Hello everyone, I'm Yu Tiancheng from Tsinghua University. I study electrical engineering and statistics. Well, I've been, how many, sorry for my, sort of, I have a lot of India friends when I've been doing research in the engineering domain, so I've been looking forward to come to India and see what this country really is. It's really a privilege for me to be here, and thank you for the warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jianxi from Department of Energy and Power Engineering of Tsinghua University, and my research is focusing on clean energy and electric systems. And I feel very warm and very kind of you to welcome us. And thank you.
And hello everyone, I'm Zhang Chenyu from the Academy of Art and Design. I'm sure that I'm the only one who study art here. And if you feel my name is hard to pronounce, you can call me Echo. It's my second year in Tsinghua University, and my second major is psychology. And it's kind of you to give us a very warm welcome. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrew from the School of Aerospace Engineering from Tsinghua University.
Hello everyone, my Chinese name is Li Rong, and I have an English name. You can call me Isolda, and my major is chemical engineering at Tsinghua. And so thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Wu, and I come from Tsinghua University, and I major in Department of Thermal Engineering. I learn for know about India history, culture, and national conditions, and anything with Jindal Global University. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Wang Yue. I'm majoring in economics and finance. Because India is the largest emerging market in the world, so I really want to learn more about its culture, its politics, and its economics. Thank you for giving us this great opportunity.
Hi everyone, my name is Tertulli. I'm a senior student studying English and economics at Tsinghua University. I'm currently more interested in public policy and law, so I'm really looking forward to more communications with local students and more exploration of this country and the politics. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Zhang Yuan from the School of Architecture. Basically I'm interested in architecture design and also cultural criticism. And I'm interested in India because I think it's the most important developing. Sorry. I think India is the most important developing country for me to study and to research, and I really hope to communicate more with the local students. And thank you very much for it's It's so nice of you to give us such a warm invitation and welcome. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Yang Yuebing and I have an English name, you can call me Sue. Yeah, and I'm interested in India because I love Indian music and movies and also architecture because I'm also from architecture school in Tsinghua University. And although I have only been here for a few hours, I feel really good about India. I think all the Indian guys I meet is very handsome and all the Indian girls are very hot and beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to the days we learn and play together. And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Liu Yuchi from Social Science Department. I major in sociology. Yes, I've always been curious about amazing India and on the beautiful India, and I'm lucky to be here. Yeah, so hello everyone, good morning. My name is Yang Maoyi, and you can call my English name is Vera or Veronica. And I'm a second year student from the Department of PPE, that is a comprehensive major which stands for the philosophy, politics, and economics. And so I have been to Thailand, Vietnam, and Singapore, so some kind of Southeastern Asia, but I have never been to India. Yeah, and so I think will be a very nice opportunity for me to explore more fascinating or interesting things about India and about some kind of international relationships or the top interest. So it's again, it's very nice of you, all of you, to welcome us. Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Yu Yunhui, and you can call me Alex. I'm from School of Social Sciences and majoring in sociology. And I believe that this program can give me many inspirations related to my sociological major. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. My name is Yang Chenxi, and I'm from the School of Journalism and Communication at Tsinghua University. And I'm very honored and feel lucky to be here. And I'm curious about many things in India, so I hope I can learn everything here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Wang Zhiyuan and I'm from Department of Precision Instrument of Tsinghua University. We are focusing on manufacturing precision instruments and optical instruments. I have never been in India before, so I think I will learn a lot from this unforgettable trip, and thank you very much for this opportunity.
Hello everyone, I'm Han Peida from Tsinghua University, and I study the Department of Hydraulic Engineering, and especially the coastal and ocean engineering. And my English name is Paddy. It's Ireland name, maybe. And I'm very curious about the Indian culture, especially the many interesting Indian movies. And so I'm very lucky to be here, and thank you for providing us this very interesting program here. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Huang Guanghua. You can call me Simon. I study in clinical medicine, but now I don't know anything about how to cure people. Because what I learned is about math, physics, or biological and anything about the environmental and not the how to cure people. I'm very glad to join this program because I want to learn how to all about the Indian movie like I'm Your Hand. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chochu from the School of Journalism and Communication. I feel so honored to be here. I know there are many differences between us. We know each other from news, from movies, from books, from Tagore's poem. But now we just touch each other's culture directly. So let's grab this precious opportunity to become the real friends. And I think we can constructed a great relationship in the end. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mokwelian. My major is mechanical engineering. It's a traditional engineering department. I'm in the third year of my university, and I love Indian movies, and I think it's very interesting. I have a lot of curiosity and interesting about this country, so I'm looking for the class and visit in the program. So thank you for the welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sriram Chaulia. I am the head of the School of International Affairs here. On behalf of the school and the university, I want to welcome you all. This is the second Tsinghua Jindal-India Immersion program. You may have spoken to your friends and your seniors who came here in 2016. Maybe they have graduated, but some of them may still be around at your university. They had a great time, and I think that was a very memorable program because it was the first such with your prestigious university. And I remember the quality of the students, the quality of the presentation they made at the end of the program, the quality of the discussions that were held, the overall quality of the contributions the students made was extraordinary. I must say that we have hosted many student groups in this university from many countries, but Tsinghua 2016 was, I think, in my view, the most outstanding in terms of the seriousness and the commitment of the students to learn. So you are following in the footsteps of your great seniors, and I'm sure you will not only equal them but surpass them in learning and in contributions. I know that the Minister Councillor from the embassy is on his way, so he should reach us shortly, but we are moving ahead with the program. What is commendable, Professor Murthy, is they arrived around 4 a.m. or late last night, and they are on time at the event and ready to kickstart. So I often tell it's an amazing thing in terms of the dedication of the students, and I'm told, Ms. Leeway may correct me, that hundreds of students apply to come to this program, and only 20. How many are in this group now? 90.
Yes, we selected 20.
So it's through a competitive selection process that they have winnowed it down and brought only the creme de la creme among them. So it's really extraordinary the interest that Tsinghua, especially, is the top university of the country and of the world, has shown in coming to India, especially to our university, and building these ties. I've been to Tsinghua University at least twice, if my memory serves me right, maybe thrice, and I've always been impressed by the internationalization of the campus. You have the Carnegie Center there, and so many other internationally endowed institutes and research centers. So it's really remarkable how globally exposed the students are. And I found that in fact, when our Prime Minister was in China in 2015, I think, or 2016, he visited your campus and he gave a speech in one of your auditoriums. Maybe some of you may have seen him at the time. Were you there? No? No one? Maybe you're all undergraduates? So first years, so you may be the senior ones may have seen him. In fact, one of the most important speeches our Prime Minister made about relations between our two countries and how it should proceed was in Tsinghua University campus. It was not in the Chongnan High or in some governments, it was actually in front of the students. So he wanted to send a message through the elite students of Tsinghua that, there are some problems, but we can sort them out, and this is the future. So Tsinghua is very, very precious, and of course we all know, I always give the analogy of Oxford and Cambridge. In England, these are two most prestigious universities. But traditionally, the leaders, the policymakers, and the ones who frame the national and international discourse tend to come more from Oxford. But the ones who study hard, become scholars and scientists, and publish a lot, come from Cambridge. And these two each of them believes that they are superior to the other. But of course, both are great. I studied in Oxford, so I may have a bias, but the first thing I was told when I arrived there was, we want you to give your own opinion on any issue. Because in Oxford, we frame the leaders. In Cambridge, they make the scholars. Tsinghua, in my mind, is like Oxford. While Peking University, I know it's equally good, or maybe slightly higher in the rankings. I don't know what is the. Is Peking higher in the global rankings than Tsinghua? Or is the other way around? I won't believe you. I have to look up the rank because you're from Tsinghua.
I would say Oxford is like Tsinghua.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. While Peking is probably like Cambridge. But the point is, both these universities are inspirations for us here. We are a very new university. We are only not even 10 years old. And we aspire to be in the top 100 of the world in the next decade or so. We are a very small university, only 3,500 students, less than 300 faculty members. So in scale, you will find it to be much, much smaller. I know I've seen your campus is probably 100 times bigger than this. I know many of you ride bicycles in campus and go all over. I've seen this. But this is a much smaller one, and you can walk around. But the point I'm making is, Tsinghua is like a shining example of how a nation and a developing country can become world class. And we are inspired by it. So I hope, in fact, we had tried last year to send a batch of our students to Tsinghua in a China Immersion program. The reverse of what you are doing, which is the India Immersion program. But it could not happen due to logistical reasons. Housing in Beijing is impossible. It's very difficult. So we could not find the agreement to make it happen. But I very much hope that we will have a kind of a counterpart exchange coming in next summer to Tsinghua. Professor Wen Juan, who's I think receiving the Minister Counselor, is working very hard. She's a faculty member of our law school, and she's working to try and make a summer school possible for our students at Tsinghua. But I must say that our relationship with Chinese universities has expanded a lot. Our Vice Chancellor and many delegations, including me, have often been there. And we are also fortunate to have a large number of our students learning Mandarin. So hopefully they can try out some of their skills with you. They are all away this week, but by the 30th or 31st of January, it will be full house. There will be like more than 3,000 students close to them on campus. So then you can really interact with them. In the School of International Affairs, language training is mandatory. So many of our students are learning Mandarin, and I'm sure you will have an interesting time exchanging views. We have in the program, you will see towards the end, kind of a dialogue with Indian students without any lectures. So that should be something exciting for all of you. Then of course there are some interesting trips we have lined up for you to travel and see this part of India, mainly northern India. You're going to famous monuments, and one of my faculty colleagues, is also going to do a historical tour of Delhi for you, which is one of the oldest cities in the world. So I think it will indeed be a life-changing, as one of you was saying, life-changing experience, and I hope that we can also learn from you. Interestingly, the timing of your visit is coinciding with the Republic Day celebrations in India on the 26th. So there's going to be a huge flag-raising ceremony and interesting performances and such things here on campus, and you can all witness those things. And I think when you go back, my hope is that I always tell Tsinghua students especially, because you are destined for leadership. and for greatness. Because you belong to this elite institution, and it will come naturally to you. 20 years time, you may be in leadership positions in government or in private sector, and I hope that you will always remember this experience and accordingly modify or calibrate your views about India and what we are doing together based on this. Because we say there's a lot of diversity in India, right? There are so many different viewpoints and perspectives, and this is the program in which you will get a wide variety, right, left, center, everything. So you can take back and maybe understand the complexity of this country and then apply it as you move up in the leadership positions. And in fact, we need that nuanced view, because if it is a one-sided view, then we will always struggle to move forward in terms of a perfect relationship. So we have great utmost respect and regard for our great northern neighbor, and it's wonderful that you are representing China here, and we really look forward to engaging with all of you and learning from you, and of course open a window to India. 2 weeks, 3 weeks is not sufficient to really understand India in entirety, but I think we will give you a bit of a glimpse of what this country is, society, economy, politics, science and technology. Some of you are from the engineering faculty. We have a whole day's session focused on science and technology in this country. Of course, history, politics, foreign policy. Many of you interested in Indian movies and pop culture, so we will also have a session. We have a whole day, I think, on entertainment and on cultural issues, on the movie industry or news media. And last time the Tsinghua group was here, we took them to a local cinema in a group, even though they didn't have subtitles, and they watched a super hit movie of the time called Bajirao Mastani. I remember it very much, and the students were so engrossed by it that some of them made presentations at the end before they got the certificates based on this movie and comparing it to some Chinese productions. So I'm sure we will arrange for a movie outing, although it's not mentioned in the program. The nearest multiplex cinema is just 10 minutes away, so we will arrange it one of these days. And I've watched Wolf Warrior 2, so I know the movie. I don't know what it's called in Chinese. Wolf Warrior? Yeah. Have you watched this movie? The one set in Africa. Yeah. It's a big blockbuster, right, in China. Yeah. I've seen it with subtitles, and we've got a similar one playing right now. It's called Jindal-Tsinghua. It means it's about an Indian spy who goes into Iraq and rescues Indian nurses who are kidnapped by ISIS. And it's very similar to Wolf Warrior. So, it's like full of guns and, action sequences and, patriotic stuff, but very interesting, very similar to Wolf Warrior. So I hope we can arrange a screening for you soon. It's been running for a month, but I believe it's still there. And so one of these days, I promise you can go and see this movie. Just to see how globalized our cinema has become. Wolf Warrior is set in Africa, and this one has been shot in Morocco and in the Emirates, and they have recreated Iraq. Complete, Mosul, Baghdad, all the war-ravaged landscape has been recreated, including, landscapes which are pulverized by aerial bombardment and missile strikes and all that. So fascinating film. Although it's kind of fanciful, but it's still an interesting exposure for you to see how Indian filmmakers are starting to think very global in terms of the story and the setting and all that. Okay, so I won't say very much more, but welcome again. I hope Minister Lee Bijan is here shortly to address you.
We had hoped the ambassador could come today, but he has some very pressing engagements. You know, Chinese ambassador in Delhi is probably one of the busiest people because the number of engagements and high-profile meetings and delegations and visits that he engages in is probably next only to the U.S. Mission, because the interests are great, right? So ranging from border issues to trade to commerce to investment to Chinese companies here, there's a lot that goes on between the two countries. So he expressed regrets, but I'm still hoping we can have him come for the certificate awarding ceremony, which is at the end of this course. So you can also hear from him. But overall, I hope some of you may also think about a diplomatic career based on this exposure in India. I know they're very competent diplomats who represented China, and it's sometimes difficult because our media can be quite aggressive in questioning and in trying to challenge foreign missions. But I've always found that the Chinese, they have they're very well prepared and organized. So in that sense, you may be also interested in talking to Minister Lee Bijian today about his experiences while he's been very senior. I think he spent more than 4 or 5 years here, and he knows this country better than or as much as we do. So thank you all for being here, and I'll come back and talk to you in a week or 10 days, I think, on Indian foreign policy. But meanwhile, you have a lineup of very, very knowledgeable speakers who will come and address you. And as you know, there are a number of visits in the afternoons and in the evenings, and we'll go to that movie soon. Thank you, thank you. I request my colleague Professor Kalyani to say a few words, please.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Hi.
I will follow Professor Murthy and Dean Cholia in extending a very warm welcome to all of you to India and to OP Jindal Global. It's a real pleasure to have you all here. I hope you're having a comfortable stay so far. Do let us know if you have any problems at any point, and we're happy to help you. My name is Professor Kalyani Ankule. I teach at the law school, but I teach international relations and social sciences. And I'm also responsible for the international collaborations of the university. So I'm the director of our Office of International Affairs and Global Initiatives. I too had the opportunity to visit your wonderful campus a few years ago. We were told that you are based on the former palace gardens of a Chinese emperor. Is that right? Yeah, so I remember that, and it was a very magical experience for me to be in that place with so much history and such a great future. So we're always delighted to have, as Dean Cholia said, we're always delighted to have students from Tsinghua. Are any of you, I'm sorry I missed the introductions, are any of you from the law school? No? Okay, because we've had an exchange with the law school for the past few years, and some of our law students have studied with Tsinghua at some point in the past 3 years. In fact, they spend a semester annually at your law school, so I was wondering if you've had the chance to already meet any of them. But I congratulate you on making the decision to come to India to go through the tough competitive process and making it here. I hope this experience opens many doors for you, widens your horizons. You are trailblazers. You are following a long tradition of people-to-people exchanges between China and India, which have left both our cultures tremendously enriched. For some reason, we didn't pay so much attention to that in our recent history, but I'm really thrilled that our friends in China are actually ahead of us in now restoring this interest in people-to-people dialogue and conversations and cultural exchange between China and India. And we're trying to learn from you and encourage our students to also take a similar interest in visiting China, interacting with their Chinese friends. And I must say that anytime any of our students visits China or studies there and comes back, they're always, they're always full of praises.
They thoroughly enjoy the experience. Some of them have actually gone to pursue PhDs there and decide that they're going to spend the first part of their careers or the first few years of their careers there. And, you know, we need more bridges, you know. We need more bridges between the two countries, and that is the future. The future is in the hands of people who don't see themselves as based in one place or the other, but who see themselves as bridges between different places, different cultures, different civilizations, you know, different parts of the world. And you are very much positioning yourself. You're placing yourself in a situation where, you know, you will do that one day. And we're really glad that Jindal will have been a small part of your experience when you go on to do all those wonderful things. So, welcome.
We have already felt a lot of your candidates and the homely atmosphere. As one of the best university of China, Tsinghua University always encourage our students to study abroad and help them to form complete world views, broad vision, open gesture, and then think of the global issues. India is a very important and particular neighbor country to China, and both of China and India have the long history, splendid culture, and both of the two countries are developing rapidly now. So it's very meaningful for us to come here to know more about India. As the Jindal Global University is such a good university with the high-level faculty and the top class courses of India, so we are very, very happy to have the chance to do the cooperation and communication and take our students to participate the program. So as you mentioned, the members of the student group all have the good qualification, and they will be grow up to the leader and the elite of all works of the China society. Actually, they were selected through a very comprehensive process from more than 100 applicants. They've come from 15 different departments. I believe they will harvest a lot from through the all kinds of courses, and hope everything of the program goes well. And I hope the students learn a lot and make many friends. Thank you.
So please, Minister, over to you.